Hey everyone, Sarah Pacaro. Today's video is going to be about scabs and scars, specifically those scabs and scars after you have been in a narcissistic relationship. So here's a real life story. I love cycling, road cycling, and there's some dangers to it, right? There's dangers with everything. There's danger of crossing the street. So we can choose to be afraid of those things, or we can just choose to do the things that we love, that fill us up and fill our soul. And I love being outside. I love cycling. But the other day, you could see this scab right here. Looks like my girl's got a nasty, nasty rash. There's another huge bruise here on my thigh, and then this one on my knee. And that's a scab now. In the future, it will become a scar. And the same thing happens when we're in a toxic relationship. Any relationship that you're in, you're taking a risk. You don't know what the outcome is going to be. You can't predict the future. You can try, you can do all kinds of things. And that's a huge fear that people have, is they're afraid, what if this person hurts me? What if what if what if I fall and I get hurt, right? And that's just a risk you take really with anything that you do in life. And it's a huge risk when you're in a relationship. And it means a lot to you. I mean, that we're put here to have relationships and connections with people. And when you're in a great relationship, you feel great. When you're in a toxic or narcissistic relationship, you don't quite feel great, because it feels like you're constantly falling down, getting hurt, getting cut open, getting bumped, getting bruised. But the difference in those kinds of relationships are, it feels like it doesn't have time to heal. So it was funny because I've laughed at myself. I was a complete idiot when this happened. I was on my phone. Of course, right? You shouldn't be on your phone while you're doing anything other than being on your phone. But I was on my bike and I was riding and I was pushing down and holding and recording response to a colleague, and and as I'm looking down, I see the curb, and in my head went, oh, and then hit the curb, fell over. Mind you, it was right in front of a bus stop. And not just like little elementary kids that would come up and give you a hug and go, oh my gosh, are you okay? It was in front of a bus stop for high school kids whose parents were dropping them off because it was raining. It had just finished raining. So here I ate it in front of the entire high school bus stop, all their parents. And of course, get up after my handlebars are bent, and I get on the sidewalk, off the road on the sidewalk, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot, right? All of these nasty negative things are going through my head. I get on the sidewalk and I start riding, and the high school kid is walking towards me, looks at me and goes, huh, you okay? And I was like, I'm fine. And then I continue pedaling on in so much pain. Right. And in my head, I'm like, how did that happen? What happened? And of course I knew. I knew what I did, and I knew what happened and how it happened, and it didn't feel good. And my arm is stinging, my elbow's messed up too, right here. I've got tattoos, so it's harder to see. Right here as well, and then my hip, my entire right side was stinging. And that's exactly what happens when you're in emotionally abusive or toxic relationships. It's like you fall down and you get injured, you get cut open and it stings and it hurts, and you get bumped and you get bruised. Not so much so that you're completely wrecked, right? And no bones were broken or sprained or anything. So I was okay. I was okay to continue on. I continued on in pain, broken, bruised, right? Not actually broken, but humiliated, embarrassed, emotionally, physically as well. And now I have these scabs that in the future will turn into scars. I guarantee you, if I do another video in like 2 weeks, this will be just a scar. And that's what happens in these toxic relationships. It's as if we don't know what happened, even though if you're honest with yourself, you do. And I know what I should have done, right? I shouldn't have been on my phone and trying to bicycle at the same time. And we know, we get these feelings. Like, I had a feeling actually before it happened. Sarah just, and my name is Sarah, so I was talking to myself, just stop, like send a message really quick, put your phone away, we're a little fanny pack when I bike, put your phone away, and then continue on. But I didn't. I was rushing it. I was trying to do too many things at one time. And that's often where we get caught and bound up, and that's when we get hurt. Is when we don't give ourselves what we need. We don't give ourselves enough space. We don't give ourselves a break. We don't give ourselves adequate time to focus. And that's when we get hurt. And the same thing can be said in a toxic and emotionally abusive relationship. We're just go, 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 distracted, distracted, even though we know, and we fall down, we get cut open, we get hurt. And then we feel like, well, we have to continue on. It is what it is. And then all of these other, part of my French, I won't say the whole word, but BS sayings just go through our mind. And we just, well, it's okay, it's normal. And this happens so much. We fall down, we get cut open so much that we get to a point where it just seems normal. We get used to living with the pain, or we even get numb. I mean, I'm not numb. I still feel this while it's healing, and I like even doing that, I can feel there's pain in my arm because it's healing. The skin is pulling away, the scab's cracking open. So it still hurts. And that hurt, that feeling continues on even after the initial event. When you're in a narcissistic relationship, there's the initial event, the hurt, the real hurt, and it hurts even after, right? And then you get stuck in this cycle, and it's almost like you get used to the pain. You get used to that feeling, even though there was a point in your life where it wasn't there, and now it's there, and now it's like all over. And so you get to a place where you don't even know what it's like to live without that. Yet you want to. I don't want to live with this every time I move my leg and my arm to feel that. It's not a good feeling. But that's what happens when you stay in an abusive relationship for far too long. It's as if you're cut open, you're cracked, you're wounded, you're bleeding, you're pussing, you're trying to heal. And many people say that all the time. Sarah, I'm trying to heal, I'm doing the work. Well, how long is it taking though? Are you sitting there picking at the scab, or someone else as a metaphor sitting there and continuing to peel it and cut it open and then putting salt in the wound, right? Adding insult to injury. That's what narcissists do. And if you stay and then you don't want to, but you're allowing that to happen, you're not giving yourself what you need to actually heal. And I always say you cannot heal in the same environment that's making you sick. If I continue to get on my bike, down on my phone at the same time and do what I did, I can expect to continue to get hurt, right? So something's got to change. And oftentimes you don't know where to start, you don't know how to change, but you try journaling, you try meditation, you try talking to a therapist, and all you're doing is just talking about. That would be like me going and just continuing to repeat the story. Well, how did that happen? Well, I was on my bike and I was on my phone and this is what happened. And then expecting after an hour or so to feel better. Well, that's actually not it. That's just talking about what caused the pain. There's a big difference in talking about the problem and staying in the problem versus doing what it takes to change. And that's why the way that I work with clients is so different, right? Through the power of your mind, through a hypnosis, through trance, through you coming up with a solution. I could sit there and tell you, well, just don't get on your phone and ride your bike. Well, duh, right? But obviously I did. So some part of my mind had a justification and validation for doing that, and I learned my lesson. But if someone were to tell me that, I would get mad. I would go, well, thanks. Big middle finger, I'm gonna go do what I want to do, right? But I know the outcome, but nobody likes being told what to do. And oftentimes when you're trying to heal, you can get to this place where you just feel like everyone's telling you what to do. Oh, you should just leave. You should just not talk to them. You should go no contact. You should do X, Y, and Z, and then you'll feel better, get better, whatever. And you're thinking, yeah, no, I've tried all that. That's too hard, right? Because maybe that solution is one that works for you, but oftentimes it's not. And the difference and the differentiation in the way that I work with people is I don't tell you what to do because I don't know, because I'm not you. I have not lived your life. I have not gone through your experiences, but many people will go to someone for help and say, what should I do? And then their conscious mind kind of rejects that and goes, yeah, okay, right? Someone should tell me. I had someone tell me, oh, you really need to ice that. You need to take ibuprofen. You need to put ice on that. And I was like, yeah, okay, thanks. I didn't do that because it wasn't what I wanted to do. I'm just letting it heal in the way that it's going to heal that works for me, right? Some people say, oh, you need to have it covered. You need antibiotic. There's so many different things out there, but some of those work for me and some of them don't. And that's the way we all work. We're going to choose and do what works for us. But if you're finding that what you're being told to do or what you're trying to do isn't working, there's something else going on. right? There's something else that has you resistant internally, mentally, emotionally to that. And that's why the way that I work with people is so different. But that's what it's like. If you stay, it's like getting those scars and those scabs, but they don't get the opportunity to become scars and have this story that you learn these lessons from if they're continuing to be cut open, right? By either you or by the abuser. So there's something else that needs to be done differently. And many times people go to a therapist or go for help, and it's just like it just cuts the scab open even more. That's not really allowing it time to heal. And it takes too long, or then they slap more labels on you. Oh, you're an empath. Oh, you're codependent. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. And here's a pill for that. Have a good life. And you're thinking, no, that's not it. That's not me. I'm not crazy. But then this abuser told you you're crazy and then pointed to evidence. See, only a crazy person could go do that. Look what happened. And you're thinking, maybe I am. Maybe they're right. And if you're tired of that, if you're tired of getting cut open, feeling broken, feeling bruised, feeling stuck, feeling like you don't know where to go, and you're ready to heal, and you're tired of everyone telling you how to do it because maybe you've tried those things and they just don't work for you, then there's something else. And that's where I truly and genuinely, authentically have seen the results for myself and with all the clients that I've worked with, that hypnosis, trance, rapid change therapy, rapid transformational therapy, whatever it is you want to call it. This, again, just more labels, really gives you the results that you want, the results that you desire, so that you can do what's right for you in the way that's right for you, and not have to go fit into someone else's box. Just say, oh, this is all you have to do, right? Because imagine you've tried that. I tried that in the past, and I'm hearing I'm still getting bumped and bruised, not emotionally anymore, because now I've taken those lessons and learned from that. But if you're feeling like you're still getting cut open, you're still getting hurt, you're still getting these scabs, and they're taking forever to heal because you're trying to, and the ways that you're trying are just not working for you. And I'm talking emotional, mental, spiritual bruises, scars, scabs, all of that stuff. Then let's connect, because that's a big differentiation, right? So that's my soapbox today. And if you guys connect or relate to any of this, and you feel that maybe you don't have the physical scabs or cuts that I do, but you have the emotional ones, those invisible ones, those ones that cause even more pain, and it's more confusing because you can't see them, that's really where to spend your time. And that's where we spend our time on this journey together, to have you heal very quickly internally from the inside out. So thank you guys. There's always, you can always leave a comment below, and there's a link in the description below this video so that we can connect and talk more about possibly working one-on-one together, how to heal those emotional scabs. So thanks guys. Have a wonderful day.